I just tried to get some Christmas shopping done. Of course, you know, leaving it a little late, but that's okay. It's the week before Christmas, 5 days to go, and it's just a matter of picking up I kind of knew what I wanted to get, so it was just a matter of trying to find it. I think I spent longer parking than I did actually Christmas shopping. But then I found myself, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below whether this is something that you end up doing as well. I found myself looking for little knickknacks just to have something to wrap extra for Christmas. So it was like, do they need that extra ceramic mug? No, they don't. And I don't need to spend $15 on it either. Especially after doing IVF and I'm not working. I'm on call, but I've yet to be called out yet. But things are really tight, and I want to get something that people are either going to use or really need, or something they really want. I don't want to just get something for the sake of it. And I think around the holidays, it's really easy to get sucked into that. And so I have fought that feeling of wanting to just get stuff for the sake of it. So this year, really our Christmas thing is that we're just inviting everyone over for brunch. Both sides of my family, we're kind of staggering it. So we're going to do my dad's side in the morning from about 10 till, 1-ish. And then my mum's side of the family are welcome to come on over from about 1-ish to 3 or whenever. So that's kind of our plan at the moment, and we all know that spending the extra money on groceries and that kind of stuff to host something like this can add up as well. So that's really the gift, and I'd much rather just spend time with the people I love, and I love baking, I love doing all that kind of stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to concentrate on. So I don't know about you guys, but I have plus size girl problems as I'm getting ready for Chad's Christmas party. Their work is doing a scavenger hunt in Perth. It is really hot today. Well, maybe this de-acclimatized girl is very hot today, but it's probably like mid-30s, maybe a bit higher. Anyway, so like I said, scavenger hunt. So jeans and flats are a must. I have to do that because otherwise I won't survive the day. But now I'm trying to work out, what am I going to do with all this? So first option is we're going to have a little tank like this because it's very hot and I'll get sunburnt. If I need it, I've got a little cardigan. Option 2, this, or option 3. So I decided to go with this one, stained glass one. You can probably see a little bit better now. It covers my shoulders, but it's cool enough, it's comfy, and I'm ready for this scavenger hunt. This is the girl who won't have a bath. Good morning and Merry Christmas. Just here taking Chloe for her morning walk. Chloe. And getting ready to have lots of people over in a very small place this morning. But I think that's what I love. I love just being able to be here and have family. And we're doing brunch, so people aren't coming over till 10. It's about 7 right now, so getting her walk in, finishing up the prep, did a lot of it last night, and just looking forward to a great day full of family, fun and friends. Are you a reindeer? Training session of the year. It is like 8:15 in the morning because they decided to do training early this week because it's the week in between Christmas and New Year, and yeah, most people have it off. So here I go, last one of the year, big game on Saturday. Been an amazing, crazy last week over Christmas and New Year. So much has happened. I think you saw I was trying to do last minute shopping, which was crazy. We went to Chad's Christmas adventure wind-up party, which was so much fun. Christmas Eve we went over, actually we had friends come over to us. We just did fish and chips while we finished doing baking and organizing for Christmas, where we had I think a total of 14 people come through our tiny place throughout the day. I just loved Christmas Day. We've had a lot of crazy things going on this year, and it was just so good to have the family come together. Then on Boxing Day, or the day after Christmas, for my American friends, Boxing Day, we brought some of the leftovers over to one of my auntie's places on my mum's side of the family that I didn't get to see Christmas Day. So went over there, we had lunch, and then we went off to the cricket. I have never seen a cricket game live, and that was actually a lot of fun. That surprised me. Because I do love watching sports live, so that's cool. But yeah, despite playing football, I'm not actually huge on just watching sports on TV. So cricket was lots of fun. Boxing Day, and that's actually my parents, so my dad and my stepmom's anniversary. So we kind of gate crashed their anniversary and we did the cricket with them. Then of course New Year's Eve, we just kept it low key, but we just caught up with our friends at their place and celebrated. And we're in 2019, and all of that amazing goodness has just been crammed into the last week. But I guess this has just been the time, as I guess most of us usually do, to just kind of reflect on the year that has been. And this last year has been intense and full, and lots of transition and lots of change and lots of starting new things. And I guess something I've been trying to really concentrate on is joy through this last year. And like I said, a lot has happened, and it's trying to find the joy amongst all of that. And I know I've talked in a couple of my last vlogs about finding joy in those interesting times, especially our failed round and all that kind of stuff. And so I try to have a word as I either enter the year, and whether it's a passage or a scripture or just a word to try and help keep my focus on God and just what He's calling us to. And I just looked back over this last year, and let me just share with you some of the amazing and crazy stuff that's happened this year. So I'm just looking at my notes, so don't mind me if I look off camera. So at the beginning of last year, we started, and we did at the end of 2017. So beginning of 2018, we were heavily into lots of doctor's appointments and tests for 3 different clinics. We had not yet chosen our clinic that we were going to be doing IVF through, so we started all of that. We had my mother-in-law Denise come over and stay with us for 3 weeks, and that coincided with my mum's 60th birthday and my brother's 30th birthday, so like big milestone birthdays for them. And my brother was actually overseas, hence we are renting his place here, but he came back and we celebrated with him a bit early, so we did all of that in a big family thing. And then what else? So we got Chloe at the end of 2017, and very quickly did we find out in the beginning of, or the end of December, beginning of January, how bad separation anxiety she had, and we were intensely doing training with her. So finally, March, April, we started getting some relief and some help. So she started seeing a behavioral specialist, she started medication, so we could actually start leaving the house. Yes, that's a whole story which I'll go into another time with you if you're interested. But yeah, so we finally got some training and stuff happening with her, and she started settling down, was really good. I tried out and got accepted and played for the West Australian state team, the Raiders, for gridiron. And this was the first year that we'd had a West Australian team, so that was amazing for that year. Trying to think what else. Okay, yes, we went to the USA for a trip. We caught up with family and friends in the States. Chad and I had a little vacation to ourselves, and that was so much fun and much needed. Came back after many more appointments. I came back and had surgery, found out that yes, I did in fact have endometriosis, and like very just short of a stage 3 endometriosis. Got that removed. We got accepted into the bulk billing IVF clinic and decided that yes, we're going to go ahead with that. And so we started doing our first initial appointments, and then obviously starting our first round of IVF through our bulk billing clinic. We then found out that my mother-in-law had cancer, or has cancer, for like the 4th time. And she's doing good at the moment, been going through chemo and all the rest of it, so that's been a big thing, especially being so far away because she lives in the States and we are still here. I also found out within the space of a week and a half, both my grandfather and auntie passed away, which was really difficult because we were gone for half of that. Because we were getting ready to start IVF, we decided that I would finish up work, so I stopped working. We have changed churches, and if you know me, that's a really big deal. I've only been to 2 previous churches before. The one I started with, the one when we were in the US, and when I moved back, I came back to the same church. I gave my life to Christ in. And so then starting new church at the end of this year, wasn't thinking I was going to play football, but then ended up playing football. Just to name like some, I'm sure I've forgotten some stuff, but this last year has been a really big year, and something that I really had to fight and strive for is keeping my joy amongst all the good, the bad, the ugly, the crazy, the disappointments and all of that. So just being able to find joy amongst that has been it's been a challenge, but it's been something that, it's been a word that's been spoken over me probably for the last year and a half. And as I've just been thinking about all this stuff that's been going on and all this change, and 2019 is just honestly, I think, going to be just as crazy, if not more so. And as I've been reflecting and journaling over the last couple of weeks, the word that has stood out the most for this coming year is hope. And I just felt that was cemented at our new church's series is love, hope and faith, and just being able to dive into that a bit more. And I think one of the things that stood out for me the most is I'll read it to you. Like, I was pulling out definitions of hope, and it was the desire with expectation of fulfillment, to expect with confidence. And so I guess it's not just hope on its own, standalone, but it's the hope in the promise that God gave us, that gave Chad and I. And it's not even just about the IVF, but when we felt called back to come home to Australia, we really just felt like things were going to come together, and there was going to be some kind of sense of fulfillment once we got here. And I think this coming year, I just feel things are going to come together. We're actually going to go look at a house today and see if we can afford to buy it, because we've been umming and ahhing, just because I'm not working, whether we can afford to buy or we're going to be renting, because we will need to move at the beginning of this year now, 2019. So, I mean, big things are already starting to happen. And it's just, I've just been keep going over and over, and I think maybe faith has not been a struggle for me, to be honest. Like, I've always believed God, like, no matter good, bad, otherwise. I don't think God's trying to punish me or anything like that, but my faith in God has never wavered. But I think in some sort of protection mode this year, maybe the hope of the fulfilled promise has wavered a little. And so I think just that going out with confidence and boldness with the completion of His word over our life this coming year. So I don't know about you guys, but for me this year, we're just clinging on to hope of all that God has for us. And I'm praying for all of you guys, whether you're just watching along or you're also dealing with infertility or other big life changes that's going on. I'm praying for hope over you this year and this coming season. So that's going to be my wrap up for this year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I love you all, guys. Mwah. I'm praying for you, and I will see you next week.